Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. And this is a paid request for Kass, Kass. And thank you for that, for anyone that wants to request any other type of videos, a topic, review or re-review, thoughts, streams, commentaries, whatever the case may be. Feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to as soon as I possibly can. And this is for Nezha. I'll say Nezha for sake of argument. Which I did not know what the hell this film was. But apparently, when it came out, it's a Chinese animated fantasy film that when it came out, it made like $700 million worldwide. Then the sequel came out, and apparently the sequel made like $2 billion worldwide, and is the most successful animated film of all time. And I went, what the fuck is this movie? I've never even heard of this film, let alone the sequel. But this is the first one, came out in 2019, and it's not a bad film. I don't think it's a bad movie. I didn't mind it. More so the second half. Because I thought kind of the middle portion was a bit of a slog. And I really did not like the lead kid character. I know that's the point. But sometimes it's just so damn annoying. But I don't think the jokes were that funny. There are some fart jokes in there. Like, there's literally a bit where the characters are stuck in this bubble, and they gotta get this thing, this brush that's important. In order to do it, one of the characters has to fart to turn it around and fart more and turn it around. And I'm like, really? But okay, let me get to the story of the film before I go on. Again, I don't hate the film. I didn't mind it. So the story is this guy named Tai, who's this fat monk. Him and this other guy, Shin, they are supposed to fight this, I think it's called the absorbing, like, pearl. It looks like a crystal with eyes and a mouth, and then it grows arms and legs. And imagine a creature made of crystals. Which I didn't mind the design of that. And these two are fighting it. It's overpowering them. But then, I'm just going to call him God, comes down and traps it. Traps the, quote, the pearl. But it splits it into two parts. There's one called the Spirit Pearl, the good side, and the Demon, depending on which translation, some say Demon Pill, some say Demon Orb. So I'm just going to say the good and the bad side. Angel, demon, how you want to put it. Now, the demon part, apparently he puts a curse that in 3 years' time, lightning's going to hit it. Why does it have to be 3 years? Why can't it be 3 minutes? Why don't you just fucking do it now? I don't know why, because the plot says so. It has to be 3 years. Why not 3 days? Why not 3 minutes? Why not 3 seconds? Why not fucking now? But it's gotta be 3 years. 3 years, lightning hits it and it's done. I mean, so you know, why the fuck are you giving it 3 years in the first place? But anyway, the good one is supposed to be put into this woman because the guy, he's this honorable warrior, Li Jing is his name, and it's going to be the new son. Well, this guy Shin, he is a two-faced prick, and he's working with this group, these dragons. And they want that instead. So some subterfuge, making the fat Montai drugging him, switches some stuff, has the demon part go into the woman. They give birth to this demon kid, while the good one is shantates to the dragons. So they give birth to the kid who can elicit fire, and the people are scared, and the kid goes on a terror, but the mom and dad are able to calm him down, in particular with this collar, to tone him down. The parents like, hey, despite what happened, this is still our son. The dad even goes on a journey to try and get to the heavenly gates to get a deal with the god, but is turned away. Mostly from this cloud. And you find out later that the dad made a deal, but you find that out much later in the film. And time is weird, so he's there for a short amount of time, but years pass. Eventually, years pass. The little boy, he is such a pain in the ass, and I get it. He's the demon kid. He can elicit fire. He's trapped in this place that the mom and dad have him in. The mom is busy doing stuff, so the kid has no one to play with, has no friends. This little game, I forget what it's called. I call it hacky sack. But they play this game, but then it shoots out and it hits the mom, so you got to put on armor and gets the other guards to play, and they get smashed back. I mean, at least he's apologetic to a bit for that. But there are times where he's just a total terror. And there's some bits that I didn't mind. Like the bit with his mom, I didn't mind that bit. There's a bit where these kids talk about how they're going to do all these bad things to that demon kid if they ever see him. And he comes in a disguise going, well, you know what you could do is you could do this trap and this trap and this trap and then this trap and this trap. And they'll go into this pond or whatever. And the kid's like, yeah. And then we give them some hydration. And they start pissing in the pond. So, yeah. A movie that made over $700 million has kids pissing in the pond and fart jokes. But, you know. Is it all bad? No, it's not. But what I liked about that was when the kid reveals himself, then you get this quick montage of all the traps that he said they're going to do to him, and he instead does to them. I just like the way it's done with the montage, and kind of bits of slow-mo with each one, and how it was edited. I thought that was kind of funny. But just the way at times the kid would act, and there's very little for me to feel sorry for. Like, obviously, what the movie wants me to do is feel sorry for this kid because of how he's ostracized. A film that I thought did that much better was Hellboy. And Hellboy 2. A demon kid that supposedly will be this prophecy, will destroy all. Humanity shuns him, but then eventually shows by the end that fate, don't believe in fate. There's some good, and he did do. I just thought Hellboy 1 and 2 did that a lot better. Much more interesting lead character. That's the thing, I didn't give a shit about the lead character in this. And that's one of the reasons I'm probably a bit more lukewarm on it than others. I didn't care about this kid. I didn't care about his struggle. I didn't care about what was going on. Because most of the time you just see him as his dick. Like, you get logically the reasons why, but even when he's like, I'm going to be a hero, is trying to save this kid, but then there's this other guy that comes in, and you find out that he is the manifestation of the good side from the dragons, but he doesn't know that this kid's the demon and vice versa. He's just trying to help. The guy helps the kid, but then the demon kid takes the kid back They said, no, I'm going to save her. And there's a point where this creature who's like made of water at one point, then it's reptilian, and swallows the kid. And I forget the damn one guy's name. The good side, I'll say. The spirited pearl. The spirit, I would say the good spirit. Is trying to save the kid, but this creature can make you kind of frozen as a statue. And so the demon kid uses him as a shield and a weapon to knock the guy out, get the antidote, and thus save them and the kid. I know I made that more confusing than I should have. Oh, the antidote is the creature's snot. And that's the thing is, I don't mind the animation. Some people have issues with animation. I think the animation looks pretty good. Whether it be, there's a bit where Tai Yi, the fat monk, is trying to train the lead kid and takes him into this painting. And in this world, Tai Yi can use his paintbrush and make whatever he wants. I thought there were some nice visuals in there. The fight scene where when the demon and the spirit, they first see each other, while you also have this other creature and they're kind of fighting, going back and forth, kind of evenly matched. There's some nice choreography, the camera's throwing around. The second half felt a bit more serious, a bit more like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto type of feel to it, and which is a bit weird with the more kind of goofy bits in the earlier in the film. But I think just the third act played itself very serious, and there was a lack of stupid jokes. And I thought that's when the action kicked up, and the choreography I thought was pretty good. I'm like, okay, this actually, had a decent finale. I think that helped. Pretty good finale. Not decent, pretty good finale. It did help, but it didn't. Because I don't like the lead kid. The jokes, I didn't think were that funny. Maybe it was a loss in translation of humor. I don't know. I just don't find, oh, the tear is snot. Or multiple fart jokes. I just don't find that shit funny. The spirit, the good side, he comes in like halfway through the film. And after everything's said and done, then they kind of play a bit of that game back and forth. And it's the one time he finally got to play a full game with someone. And he's crying about it, but then he gets mad about it. And it's like, wow, you're my only friend. Maybe it would have been nice to have a few more scenes with the two of them interacting with each other on different points to see a bit of their friendship grow. But it's pretty much that one scene, they're friends, and then pretty much the next time you see them, the shit hits the fan. Again, I wish there was a bit more of a progression of seeing them doing multiple things as friends. I think that would have been nice to see. At this point, the parents have lied to the kid and saying, "Oh well, actually, you are the spirit. You are the good guy. The spirit is in you, and they're just jealous and this and that." That's why he believed he should be a hero and fighting demons and saves the little kid. But then he finds out the truth. He gets pissed. The collar's taken off, and then he goes from a little kid to like a teen kid. He starts demolishing, fighting everything, fighting his own father, fighting others. They're able to get the collar back onto him. He wanders off. At kind of random, fairly randomly, this pig comes up, which I know this pig we saw earlier, but the fact that this woman, at this time, at this place, this pig showed up to breathe like smoke or whatever in his face, wherever the hell it was, and then he sees his vision that back to a while ago, when his father went up there to heaven, however you want to put it, he made a deal that in 3 years' time, I will take the hit, not my son. And earlier he had given the son this little thing, and the kid looks at it, and it's a protection spell. You'll be protected, it'll come from me. The kid realizes that his father does care for him. Would have been nice to see a bit more scenes of the father trying to deal with it, but then the father, he's away for a while, and then when he comes back, other than them lying to him, it would have been nice to have a few more scenes of maybe him tucking the kid in bed, and or him trying to sing a lullaby, or him like a little bit more of a father-son dynamic to really develop more of that possible bond. But you don't really get a whole lot of that. Instead, you get some like unfunny jokes and stuff. Now the third act, while like Shin, that guy comes in with the spirit, and since they're with the dragons, he wants to become an immortal. The dragons want to become immortal, so this townfolk can't find out the truth about what really happened. So we need to destroy this town, this village. So he's using the spirit to use ice and stuff, but then our lead kid uses fire, and there's this big fight, this big battle. Nice choreography where they're going back and forth. Then those two, Shin and Tai, get into the painting, and then they're fighting in all the realm of this painting. There's this nice choreography bit where they're trying to get this paintbrush, and one hits the other, but then the other comes up and pulls them down, then the other hits without cutting, without editing, and see how one goes to the other, goes to the other. And I know I'm being vague and not being descriptive, but not trying to spoil it. Well, I guess I am spoiling, but I liked when it kicked into the action gear. Being an action fan, I did appreciate the way it looked, the way it was animated, and how it flowed. Now, I didn't like the fact that at one point they tie each other up into this bubble, tie each other up with different things. One uses ice, one uses their robe, whatever. And or get this, again, the guy farts. I was like, come on, really? Does that have to be the fucking thing? Really, dude? Really? But yeah, I appreciate the battle when they get out of the painting. The way the kid destroys the ice, is fighting the spirit who's now in the look of a dragon. Could have killed him, but doesn't, because regardless, you're my only friend. The kid is now set up with his fate. He throws away the protection, ties up his parents, just doesn't want his dad to die. That's the thing. If they had set up more scenes between the father and son, where there's some nice moments, but there's some conflicting moments, and more of that, I think this could have been even more powerful. He's willing to get hit lightning struck. The good spirit is willing to take the hit with him. Just, hey, you're my only friend too. They join hands together. Captain Planet comes out. No, not really. And they're able to deflect it, and their bodies are destroyed, but their spirits are still alive. I guess in the sequel, they get their. It's the journey of how they get their bodies back, I'm assuming. By the way, do not watch the English dub of this. The English dubbing is really bad. Like, the way they talk is really fucking, like, it's the English dubbing is not good. It's very awkward sounding, and it's hard to take the film seriously with the English dub. Some have a problem with the designs of the characters. That they didn't bother me. The dragons, they're in a couple scenes, but pretty much they want to be immortals as well. I'm sorry. I'm assuming there'll be more in the sequel. I said I didn't mind it because at least thought it was a good looking film. I liked that it took some stuff seriously in the third act, and it definitely when the action ramped up. And I thought the finale was rather pretty good. But I said it's hard for me to like the lead character and really get into his plight. I get the idea behind it, but I think the execution could have been better. I think there could have been a few more moments where we see him a bit. Like, there are little moments that we see him. Like, he's walked around as a little, even younger kid, and they're throwing shit at him. I think there's a bit more of that you could have done. There's many movies that have done that, where you think he's the bad guy, and or people treat him harshly, and then they get pissed. Oh, you want a monster? I'll give you a monster. There's just a bit more either between him and his new friend, or him and the father. A few more scenes to flesh that out a bit better would have been nice to see. I did the jokes didn't work for me. You know, the snot jokes, the fart jokes, all that stuff. Like I said, I wouldn't say I really got into the characters, but it's more just into the animation and the third act action set pieces. Were fun to see. Were fun to watch. I would never see the film again. I don't really care about the sequel. I don't think it's a bad film, but I mean, are there other films I like more? Yes, Toy Story, Wall-E, Aladdin, other many other animated films I do like more than this. I don't think it's bad. It's just I just don't get the huge hype as to what made this film garner so much attention and success. I mean, I guess glad it's not a total piece of shit, but yeah. Maybe it's one of those things. If I learned or cared more about Chinese history, I would appreciate it more. As is, I thought it was okay. I did. I thought it was okay, but I would never see the film again. Like I said, if the lead character was a bit more likable or a bit more interesting or something. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.